A while back, a local film composer posted on one of our local musician groups saying he was looking for a composer to arrange a couple of hymns for solo piano in a classical style, but a bit on the dark side. Little did he know that this is right up my alley. So I reached out to him, and now I am beginning work on one of these two arrangements and decided to share my process with you. If you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Heather Naomi Savage. I am a composer, collaborative pianist, and teacher. I am also the host of the Musicking Community podcast and an herbalist. And I like to hike and get outdoors. And on this channel, I just share about all the things that make up my life. Uh, if you have not heard my piano meditations, which this new piece will be also one of these piano meditations, I will link to a couple of them in this video. Listening to them will give you an idea of how I mess around with the hymns. I don't know if I would call them straight up arrangements because I do take a lot of artistic license with them. I call them meditations because they are a piano expression of what I feel the hymn and associated scripture is communicating that go beyond what often comes through in the traditional hymn. So the two hymns the filmmaker asked me to arrange will fill out my first set of 6 meditations, which I intend to record as a set. But I don't have any kind of deadline set for that yet. So I will definitely keep you posted on when that's going to happen. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my initial ideas for working on the first hymn, Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah. In this pick, you will see that I first wrote out the original melody to the hymn. The hymn was written in G major in the hymnal, so I just used that key. I didn't worry about the rhythm for this because I'm not necessarily going to use the same rhythm as in the original hymn. Then underneath, I wrote out the inversion of the melody. I started on the D an octave higher to keep the melody within the staff, which is much easier than writing a lot of ledger lines. On this second page, I wrote out the original melody but changed to G minor. When writing these meditations, one of the first experiments I try is writing the melody in a minor mode. I also wrote this minor melody in inversion. I may or may not use the inversions completely. I may also use a portion of the retrograde of either the melody or the inversion. I didn't bother writing those out because I will just read whatever I need backwards. These sets of notes serve as a dictionary for the piece, which I will refer back to. And portions of all of these will serve very well for motivic development and transitions. All right, so after I wrote that out, I started my word list. I usually create a word list or maybe a word cloud for every piece that I write. This time I didn't have too many words, so I just wrote a short list. These words are based on the conversation I had with the filmmaker. The filmmaker is making a documentary about the death of his mother, so all of these words are related to grief. Sad, confused, dark, angry, questioning, stuck. Since taking this pick, I added tentative, sensitive, painful. These are all feelings I want to communicate in my music, so I will refer back to them over and over again and asking myself, is this feeling showing up in the piece? I then went through the hymnal and wrote out the prayers and concerns the hymn writer was communicating. So these aren't necessarily specific words from the hymn, but they're kind of a summary of what I saw there. So guide me through this barren land, hold me, I am weak, feed me, I am wanting, heal me, I am hurt and broken, lead me, I am confused, protect me, I am afraid, soothe me, I am anxious, save me, for death is near, I will praise you forever. So after this, I went to a Bible website called BibleGateway.com and looked up these words, the words in the first column. On that site, you can choose which book of the Bible you want to use to narrow your search, and I just chose the book of Psalms and found some relevant scriptures to go along with this list. All of this serves as an extra musical reference. So it's another dictionary, right? A dictionary of words and scriptures to help me know that the piece is communicating the feelings that I'm going for. So after this, I started thinking about form. I improvised on the piano to determine the tempo that I'm going for, which in this case turned out to be a quarter note equals 56, which is pretty slow. I know the piece will include fast notes like 16th notes and flurries of notes that are even faster than that, but the overall tempo will be quite slow, which is fitting for the topic of grief. The filmmaker and I agreed on a piece about 5 minutes long. This is not a regular film scoring situation. I will give him the recording and then he's going to chop up the piece or not according to what he sees fits the situation. But I know with the 5-minute goal that I'm looking at 280 beats or 70 measures, which is not a lot. The original hymn is 14 measures. So if I just repeated that 5 times without any transition, I'd get to 70 measures. Now, I'm not going to do that, but thinking about it this way helps me to know what I can fit into this amount of time, and it influences what form I will use. So I am thinking that I'm going to do something along the lines of a theme and variations. Finally, I began playing around with the harmony. Because the filmmaker asked for a specific hymn, I want to make sure the melody is recognizable for at least part of the piece. So I didn't want to jump straight into a minor mode or an inversion, but neither did I want to introduce the melody like it was straight from the hymnal. The major key and rhythm are just way too confident and happy, which is the total opposite of what I'm going for. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to start off with something a bit polytonal. And then I ask, is it really polytonal or not? I have a lot of experience in jazz. So my right hand will be playing the melody in G major and my left hand will be playing in C major. And those keys are not very far apart. One could say that I'm just using extended chords and that a G chord above a C chord is a G major 7 with an added 9, or an E minor over an F major is just an F major 7 with an added 9 and 11. These are not things that I care to spend time thinking about or worrying about. All I want to know is what notes belong in my sound world, and someone else can argue about the theory. The theory only helps me with my dictionary about what belongs in the sound world and what doesn't belong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the hymn from the hymnal, and I'm just going to play like the first line or so, and you'll hear the tune and how happy and strong it sounds. So that's pretty strong, pretty happy, pretty confident. I'm going to raise the melody up an octave so I can fit the chords underneath. This is not the actual arrangement, but I want you to hear the harmony that I'm experimenting with. So my right hand will play that melody in G major, and then my left hand will be playing harmonies within the C major key. So I think you can agree with me that this second version is much more tentative and questioning, even though the melody is still recognizable. So some version of this will make a great start to the meditation based on Guide Me, O Thou Great Jehovah. So I hope you found this video helpful. I'd love to know what you think about it. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please hit the button and have a great day.